Today, our read aloud is going to be titled When I Was Young in the Mountains by Cynthia Ryland. And it was awarded the Caldecott Honor. When I was young in the mountains, grandfather came home in the evening, covered with the black dust of a coal mine. Only his lips were clean, and he used them to kiss the top of my head. When I was young in the mountains, grandfather spread the table with hot cornbread, pinto beans, and fried okra. Looks yummy. I love cornbread. Later, in the middle of the night, she walked through the grass with me to the Johnny house and held my hand in the dark. I promised never to eat more than one serving of okra again. She got sick. What do you think that little house is back there that they're going to? Her stomach hurts. So that little house out here is like an outhouse or like a restroom that they have. So the restroom is outside of the main house. When I was young in the mountains, we walked across the cow pasture and through the woods, carrying our towels. The swimming hole was dark and muddy, and we sometimes saw snakes, but jumped in anyway. So they jumped in anyway, even though they saw snakes? On our way home, we stopped at Mr. Crawford's for a mouth of white butter. Mr. Crawford and Mrs. Crawford looked alike and always smelled of sweet milk. So they do look alike. When I was young in the mountains, we pulled pails of water from the well at the bottom of the hill and heated the water to fill round tin tubs for our baths. So this type of living is similar to when you go camping. That's what I'm gathering. Afterward, we stood in front of the old black stove, shivering and giggling with grandmother, while grandmother heated cocoa on top. Yummy. When I was young in the mountains, we went to church in the schoolhouse on Sundays and sometimes walked with the congregation through the cow pasture to the dark swimming hole for baptisms. My cousin Peter was laid back into the water, and his white shirt stuck to him, and my grandmother cried. When I was young in the mountains, we listened to frogs sing in dusk and awoke to cowbells outside our windows. Sometimes a black snake came in the yard, and my grandmother would threaten it with a hoe. It did not leave. She used the hoe to kill it. 4 of us once draped a very long snake, dead of course, across our necks for a photograph. When I was young in the mountains, we sat on the porch swing in the evenings, and grandfather sharpened my pencils with his pocket knife. Grandmother sometimes shelled beans and sometimes braided my hair. The dogs lay around us, and the stars sparkled in the sky. A bobwhite whistled in the forest. Bob White. When I was young in the mountains, I never wanted to go to the ocean, and I never wanted to go to the desert. I never wanted to go anywhere else in the world where I was in the mountains, and that was always enough. The end. I hope you enjoyed the story When I Was Young in the Mountains.